Hey everyone, I'm Chef Zee. Welcome back to my channel, Chef Zee Cooks. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Chef Zee, and you are now part of the summer series Cook With Me Live. And one of the things that I love to do is just give people a couple of minutes to join us, because it's that time of the night where there's a lot happening. And I'm sure like a day like today where it is just sweltering hot outside, some of us, myself included, are moving a little bit slowly. So I just like to give people just a couple of minutes just to show up. Now comment in the group chat. Now again, if you are regularly here, you know that we like to have fun in the group chat, which by the way is the live chat. But we're all family here, so I like to call it the group chat. So just comment and let me know, how are you guys doing today? It is hot, all right? Like, how are you guys keeping cool? Are y'all struggling? I hope you guys are staying safe, staying hydrated. Like, listen, all right? Y'all gonna see me drink a whole lot of water today because I'm super, super hot. I actually commented in the group chat earlier that I'm actually, full disclosure, on my second shower today because that is how insane it's been. Earlier today, I was just moving a bunch of boxes around, and the next thing you knew, I was sweating and I was not smelling good. So it was time to take a shower. I'm just like looking over at my husband when I said I wasn't smelling good, because he was the one that was like, babe, I love you, but like, go hop in the shower real quick. So like I said, I just like to give people just a couple of minutes to join us. And like, listen, you guys might see me sweat a little bit. I'm keeping my hair up. I'm trying to stay hydrated. Now, the really awesome part about today's recipe is actually very, very quick. And for my own safety and my own sanity, I actually started part of today's dish a little bit beforehand, just so that I wasn't absolutely dying in the kitchen, because a lot of you guys know that when I do these live streams, I actually have to turn off my AC. Otherwise, it would sound like an airplane the background. So we are looking to get our HVAC system updated pretty soon, but in the meantime, this is what we're dealing with. So I just want to see what you guys are talking about in the group chat. We have Sancocho718. Thank you so much for the super chat. You said wepa. You're excited. Thank you so much. I love the energy. We have Wolf Cook from Houston. What's up now, all the way from Texas? Is it hot over there too? I would imagine so. I know you guys have also been dealing with some hot weather. We have TJ Diamond, who says, hey, you're cooking with me tonight. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Thank you. I hope you started your yuca a little bit ahead of time. I definitely started mine just because I didn't want it to die on camera from the heat. So I started the yuca, but we're going to do everything else together today. We have Tiger Lily, who said, oh my God, I just got out the shower. The bus had no AC. So, oh my goodness. So I know you were feeling like completely gross. Like, I've been there when I've had to take the subway and you just like go down on the platform and you're just like, what is happening? I totally get you. And Christina, yeah, it's definitely going to be hot this week. We have CG Pipeline that says, what's up from Brooklyn? What's going on? I know I have family in Brooklyn, as a matter of fact. We have Edwards, Chef Zee, saludos a ti y a tu esposo. Thank you so much. He's right here, still acting brand new, not wanting to come on camera, but trust me, I am trying to change that. I have a couple of video ideas that involve him, and I'm like, tell me no. But you guys wanting to see him definitely helps me make my case. I have here from Oak Cliff, Dallas, Texas. What's another person from Texas? What's going on? JF Hernandez. We have Sancocho, who says, Sancocho says, I'm in the low desert SoCal hotness. Listen, I can imagine it's hot. We had Josie, El Diablo Chef Zee desde Campo. I hope it's a little cooler in the Campo. I know, we have family that resides in the Campo too, and I always like it there a little bit because you just get that nice breeze, and it's so refreshing, which I can go for right now. We have Patricia, who says, love all your videos, wish you the best. You're making pollo con spaghetti, but also making it con salchichon and salami. Amazing. All right, so I'm just looking at the time, and I think a good enough of us are here, so we can go ahead and we can get started in today's video. And just know that I will be going back and forth looking at the group chat. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment. My husband is also looking at the group chat, so if I miss any important questions and stuff like that, he will definitely like flag me down. Now, welcome. Hello. I hope everyone is staying cool and refreshed. So today we have a super exciting recipe and video for you guys. We are going to be making some Dominican Style Salami Guisado, which is essentially some stewed sausages or Dominican style sausages. And it's really important that you say that, because you can't really take like an Italian style sausage and make it like this and expect the same results. You definitely can, but the flavor profile is just going to be completely different. So I definitely want to put that out there. So you definitely, if possible, want to get your hands on some Dominican salami, and more on this. Now, with the salami, we're going to be pairing this, which, by the way, salami guisado is actually one of my husband's favorite dishes. So this is hands down a treat from him. Me personally, I'm more of a locrio con salami type of girl, but this is still an amazing dish. Now, my husband loves the salami guisado, and we're actually going to pair it with one of my favorite root vegetables. So I have some yuca. We are going to be making some yuca today, and I went ahead and I peeled some yuca, I rinsed it, and now I have it boiling away. And really, you can boil, the yuca usually takes about 30 minutes to boil, but it's already been going for about 30 minutes. And it's still not as soft as I like it to be. So I just have it on a low flame, because I also don't want to overcook it. Because if you overcook yuca, you're going to end up with yuca mash, which is still tasty, but not today's video. So more on this in a little bit as well. So we actually had a little bit of fun, and I posted to my community tab, which I do hope you guys can see. I know we've been dealing with a little bit of issues of you guys not getting the notifications, and I hope that by me posting reminders in the community tab, it pops up in the newsfeed. So definitely comment, let me know if you are seeing the videos. I am working on solving that issue, but I had you guys take a vote. I had you guys take a vote here, and I had you guys take a vote on Instagram, which, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me there as well. And I just wanted to know, okay, which Dominican salami should I use today? Should I use campesino or should I use indubeca? Fun fact, my husband is team campesino all the way. All the way, all the way, all the way. It's actually like a common argument here in the house. It's like, which salami did you use today? Does it matter? Really? Like, it's still good. But anyways, so we have campesino and we have indubeca. Now, my husband is actually, I know a lot of you guys don't know this because you've never seen him, but my husband is actually Dominican and I'm half Dominican, and both of our families are from the Cibao. So this is why these are the two brands that we have just a greater affinity for, that we also like. But there are definitely some other brands that are just as popular. I know a lot of people from the capital love Igueral. I think that's the one, that's the red one. The red one is also another popular one, and I get a lot of heat for never featuring that one. But like, between me and you, I'm right here with this. So this is my husband's favorite, this is my favorite, and this indubeca is actually the one that won the poll, believe it or not. So it won the poll here on YouTube, and it actually won the poll here, over on Instagram. And for a moment, when I actually put the poll out, initially campesino was leading the charge, and my husband was like, yeah. But at the very end, indubeca came in and swooped it, which is actually pretty funny, because when it comes to making salami guisado, I actually prefer to use indubeca, but when it comes to locrio, I prefer to use campesino. Me personally, I think campesino is a little bit on the saltier side, which is why I like to use it for locrio. But comment in the group chat, are you team campesino or are you team indubeca? All right, so we are going to start just preparing everything. There's a bunch of different ways to making this, sort of, kind of. It doesn't really deviate too much from what I'm making, from the way that I'm making it today. We're just really going to need, obviously, some Dominican salami. We're going to need some fresh peppers, some onions. We're also going to need some tomato paste. I like to add a little bit of tomato sauce because you guys know I don't like to be cheap with the sauce at all. I have some sazon con achiote, some Dominican oregano, a little bit of olives, and then we're gonna round everything out just with a little bit of Tabasco, which you guys haven't seen me use yet, and that's actually one of my secret ingredients, some vinegar and some recao. Now, the ingredients are listed down below. They're also on my website, and they're also going to be popping up on screen as well. I don't know if it's here or here, but it is somewhere. This way. My husband's like, all right, so let's go ahead, let's get started. Let's actually I'm going to use this different knife because this is something I actually wanted to talk to you about. So here we have two different knives that are very common in your knife set that comes. So we have your typical chef knife, and then we have the Santoku knife. This is a Japanese knife, and really the difference between the two is the shape. So you see this one's a little bit more curved, and this one is actually meant for chopping. They both get the job done, but honestly it really comes down to personal preference. My personal preference is this one, just because of the motion that you make whenever you are cutting. And then this one, funny enough, is my husband's preferred chopping knife because it's a little bit more of a chopping action versus a more French style of like a more swing action. You guys always see me use this one, so I'm just going to use this one for a change because I know it's ones that come in different knife sets, and they're both, you know, proper to use. So I'm just going to now start cutting the salami, and really all I did was I created a slit because I want to remove the plastic that it comes here. So we have Carmen that says that she prefers Induveca, and we have TJ Diamond that says that salami is hard to find there. I am so sorry. I honestly, like, salami is something that I always keep on hand because it's just super easy to whip something up. My husband also loves it. As a matter of fact, before I get too deep into the video, I'm gonna pay my salami tax. Here we go. There we go. So this is like, babe, I'm about to put all our business out there. So here in my house, we have different taxes that my husband and I charge each other. So I'm in charge of collecting the bread tax. So anytime there's any fresh French bread or Italian bread, he has to cough it up, give me a piece. I'm the bread tax collector, and then he collects the salami tax. So anytime I'm like cutting up some salami, I have to give him a piece and pay my tax to him. And then our dogs collect the ice tax. Like anytime they hear the ice machine going, they like run up and they're like, where's my piece? So that's just like a little, I just have like, you know, that's just like a little inside joke. I'm looking here at the group chat. I see a lot of you guys are actually team Induveca, which is like pretty funny. We have just Nazari. Hello Z, hope you're having a great day. I'm having a fabulous day because I'm here with you guys, so thank you for joining me here today. We have Ana Lopez who said, you guys are the cutest. I came out of work early today, so you're glad to have made it here on time. Listen, we're so happy that you could have made it here on time as well. So
we got Rosemary Peña.
We have Rosemary Peña. What's going on? I can't see.
Yuca is impossible to peel. Do you have a video on how to peel yuca?
Yuca's impossible. You know, I don't have a video on how to peel yuca, but I do have a fresh unpeeled yuca right here next to me. So as a matter of fact, I can 100% peel it right here live with you guys, and I'll show you my tricks. I see we have a friend of the channel here. We have Belky's Twist who says, hi, I'm finally able to catch up live of yours. Thank you so much for joining us. So real quick, I just want to get back to the salami. So I pretty much just cut the salami in half, and really what I did was I wanted to create a flat surface to make it easier for me to chop. And you can chop this up any which ways that you want. Now, because of the type of knife that I'm using, this knife is actually meant to chop this way, as in like it's meant to come up on and off from the chopping board, where the other one is meant to have more of a rocking motion, and it's meant to always more or less be in contact with the cutting board. Both are fine. It really comes down to personal preference. Now, when it comes to the salami, you can cut them as big or as little as you want. I am making a little bit of a mess. And then I just like kind of like rough chop them, honestly. I kind of like just stack them up. And then I just cut down on them like this. And I'll show you again. So I just like stack them up. And then I just cut them up. So you're gonna have some triangular pieces, and then you're gonna have some rectangular pieces. So you see there, I stacked them up, and I just cut them. And you can cut them any which way you want. Again, there's no right or wrong way to cut it. I find that if you cut them into smaller pieces, hitting the masa, it feels like you made a little bit more. Now, I don't know about you guys, but in my household, we are huge, huge salami eaters. Like, honestly, between my husband and my sister, they can go through a whole salami by themselves, which is why I always like to keep it on hand, because when there's nothing to eat, siempre hay salami. So you can always make a locrio, you can always make salami guisado, and you could even make yourself like a little Dominican charcuterie board, which is essentially some salami cut up with some queso geo or any other types of quesos, a little bit of guava jam, a little bit of pineapple jam, and you have yourself a feast, okay? That's something I actually like to do all the time during the holidays, and it's something that I just grew up seeing at family parties. They'd always have pieces of salami cut up with some cheese and some Ritz crackers off to the side. So we have Gina, who says, Zee, I just made your Dominican meatball recipe, and I also make your salami guisado. Thank you, my darling. That means the world. As a matter of fact, I actually haven't had my own Dominican meatballs in quite a bit. And I am a salami connoisseur, all right? I love salami, beef salami, turkey salami, beef salami, oye. Beef meatballs, chicken meatballs, turkey meatballs. I'm a meatball lover through and through. So we have Jahida that says that my husband does the same thing with the salami, you know. And let me tell you something, right? My husband and I, we get into little, I guess, like lovers quarrels. Like, we get into little spats, because I'm like, listen, bro, you collect the salami tax a little bit more than I collect my bread tax. So I just feel like sometimes it's a little uneven. And so he's like, oh, I don't recall receiving the last payment, so I don't know. It's the IRS here. I'm collecting on past due payment. I'm always giving him the side eye, like, yeah, all right, okay. We have Jahida, when are you going to start building your land, and where is the land? Oh, wow. Okay, so a question about the house. Thank you so much for asking. So the house is currently being built as we speak, and for privacy reasons, I cannot disclose exactly where the house is being built. I guess the most comfortable I'm comfortable like revealing is that the house is being built in New York. We did look at, you know, places to build outside of New York. We looked at Jersey, we looked at Connecticut, we looked at all over, and we landed right here in New York, where it's home. Where in New York, obviously I'm not going to say, but it's going. This is definitely the first time that I've ever built a house, and I don't know anyone who's ever built a house before, so it's definitely a process. So I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram, but I kind of shared a video of what our plot of land looks like, and it was just full of trees, full of shrubs. So what they've done so far is that they've actually taken, I want to say, most of the trees down. We are keeping some of the trees because we want to have just a little bit of shade on our land, and just in general, we like the look of trees. We just had to make sure that the trees that we kept weren't going to be too close to the house. So as soon as I have like something more exciting to share, like when they actually start pouring the foundation and start putting up the framing, you will be seeing more videos from me here on YouTube. I'm actually going to start filming those very soon, because very soon they're actually going to start pouring in the foundation. I was just surprised that it took as long as it did to put in and to clear the land, but then you realize, like, you know, they have to prepare the land for plumbing and electrical before the whole house like even goes up, as in like stuff that goes into the ground. Like, you're like, it's been interesting to say the least. Let's see, what else are you guys talking about? Oh, Jahida says, I thought I was going to be in the Dominican Republic. maybe the vacation house, but no, this is our house. And our house is going to be here in the States because it's where our family is, it's where our jobs are, and it's where we wanted to put down roots. And we also have a lot of family who already have their own homes in the Dominican Republic, but again, it's always like a vacation home, so we wanted to start off building our foundational home here, so we went with that. And again, I'm gonna make a video where I talk more about the home build. I'm gonna ask you guys to submit your questions because I know it's not something that is common, as you will. Super Nami says, congrats on your new home. Thank you. She said New York has some high taxes. I know, I'm currently paying the salami tax as we speak. I know all about these high taxes. So sorry if I don't want to butcher this name. So we have Diorilin Gomez, who says, I used to love Indubeca, but switch it to Salami Tropical because Indubeca is too expensive. I have to try Salami Tropical. I've never seen it, but I definitely have to try it. And we have Jaseni, who says she just finished frying salami. We're actually going to fry salami up just a bit. We have Yiscania Mejia, who says, do you have a lot of family overseas? And I do, actually. I have quite a bit of family overseas. My husband definitely has more family than I do overseas, but we have a good amount of family to the point where when we go overseas, we never have to worry about where we're staying. We have Belky's Twist, who says, the weather makes a difference too. Our New Jersey house took 18 months. Oh my goodness, don't tell me that. Don't tell me it took 18 months, because I might freak out. We were house hunting for well over 2 years. And then we decided to build, so I really don't want to wait 18 months to build a house. But if it takes 18 months, because there are some, supply chain issues, but I don't want to put that in the universe. Don't scare me. Don't scare me. CG Pipeline, thank you so much for the super chat. You says, congrats Chef Zee on the house. So happy for you and your husband. Thank you. I really appreciate that. You are super, 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 super sweet. And again, I can't wait to share more of the journey with you guys. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm taking a red bell pepper and I'm just slicing it. And you can slice it any which way that you want. So whenever you are making salami guisado, you can choose to cube it. This skin is like extra tough today. So you can choose to slice it or you can choose to cube it. I'm actually choosing to slice it, but it was literally just my mood today. But sometimes I do it the other way, so there's no right way or wrong. You know what it is? It's the knife. It's not my preferred knife. So, y'all saw me use this knife. Not my favorite. My husband's favorite. I'm much more used to the motion of this knife because, like I said, it's more like this. So I'm trying to do that motion with that knife and it's just not responding. So now I'm just gonna switch back to our regularly scheduled programming. And again, as you can see, yeah, this is the knife I like to use because for me, it's a little bit more of a seamless cut. I'm just used to this motion, maybe it's because that's how I train. But when it comes to this dish, you can use a variety of different peppers. You can use red peppers, green peppers, orange peppers. You don't even have to use different types of peppers, just some type of bell pepper. And again, you can cut them in big pieces or small pieces. If you have picky kids at home or a picky spouse or a relative, I always recommend that you actually cut it into big pieces because a big piece is easier to pick out than smaller pieces. So I pretty much just sliced up about a quarter of the peppers. We're now going to move on to the onion, and it's the same thing with the onions as the peppers. You can actually use a variety of different onions. It doesn't have to be a white onion. It can also be a red onion. It really comes down to your personal preference. Lately, I'm not gonna lie, lately I've been finding myself using white onions a little bit more because I really like the bite of a white onion, and I find that the onion seriously holds its shape a little bit more. But it is summertime, and the thing with the summer is that a red onion gets nice and sweet, so I might be switching to that as well. Now this I'm just slicing up as well, but you can also dice this if you want. So I'm just going to put that over to the side. Tiger Lily says, time to change the knife. You know it. It's just, again, when it comes to the kitchen, use what makes you comfortable. I definitely recommend using a sharp knife because a dull knife can get dangerous over time because you just get too used to exerting too much force onto it. So always use a sharp knife if you can. I actually have, these are Calphalon knives and they come with the built-in sharpener, so they rarely ever get dull. They are linked in my Amazon store for whoever is interested, which is also linked in the description box. Said, if you like onion, there's nothing like a white and a red onion. I definitely agree with that. I'm team onion all the way. Now, ooh, this will be fun. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have superpowers. Yes, you heard it here first. I have superpowers, and my superpowers is that I don't cry when as you can see, I'm like pulling it like straight to my eye. Onions don't bother me. I don't really cry. Every now and then, rarely will an onion, you know, sometimes I might get a strong one and it'll make me cry, but doesn't make me tearful. So whenever I go over to my mother-in-law's house, that's the first thing she makes me do, apela cebolla. Because she's like, and it was funny because it was actually my sister-in-law who pointed it out. I never noticed that the onions don't bother me until one day we were cooking together and she was just watching me peel onion after onion and she was like, are you serious right now? Like, it doesn't bother you? I was like, no, I'm okay. Oh, she said, yes, girl, you pronounced my name right. Salami Tropica tastes pretty good. You should try it, and it's cheaper as well. I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for it, and, you know, if I see it, I'll definitely try it because I don't mind saving a few little dollars. Absolutely not. So I'm just putting the onions off to the side as well. And now I'm just going to very quickly just rough chop a garlic. And then that's pretty much it as far as like our fresh ingredients. We have Supernani who says, yes, I love them. I love onions. You'll eat them raw. I'll eat onions depending on what it is. I don't mind raw onions at all. But it really depends on what it is. I love pickled onions. Woo! Pickled onions and me, best friends. Best friends. La mejor amiga. La mejor amiga. I have some fresh garlic here. I'm just like breaking this up. Ana Lalu says, hi guys, I made it. Hey, thank you for joining. I'm so happy that you made it. I hope you're staying cool. Again, weather is absolutely bonkers. It's bonkers all week, as a matter of fact. So all of us, we got to definitely like be careful. So I'm pretty much just going to rough chop about 3 onions. I'm just, again, I don't like the little wooden piece at the bottom, so I pretty much just smash it and then I rip off the wooden piece at the bottom. So here we go. We're just going to mash it. Mash, very simple. We have this wooden little piece right here. I just go like that and then it comes, the garlic just comes right off. Now that little green piece is the little germ. You can cut that off. Some people really hate it. Some people don't mind it. Depending on what I'm cooking it in, I don't mind it. It can make the garlic, funny enough, taste a little bit stronger, but I'll show you how to remove it. So I pretty much just created a slit in the garlic, and you see this in the center, you can just like pull that out. That's the little germ. You just take it out. And now you are left with like regular garlic. Again, you don't have to do it, but depending on what you're making, it's advisable to take it out. Like if I were making a scampi where the garlic is really much like a star of the show, then yes, I take it out. So I'm just going to rough chop this a little bit. And as you can see, one of the germs actually stayed in there, but that's totally fine. In this dish, se va a perder. You won't even know it's there. All right, just rough chopping that. Oh, how are you guys doing? I'm so excited that so many of you guys were here to join us today. I know a lot of you guys said that going live at 7 o'clock definitely works for you, and I'm excited that it does. All right. Sorry, we have a bot in the trying to infiltrate the chat room, the group chat. Excuse me, not here, not today, not on my husband's watch. He took care of that. Thank you, babe. All right, so I peeled all of the garlic. Now, my hands smell like garlic, which, as much as I love garlic, my hands smelling like garlic is low-key a pet peeve of mine. But it's okay, I'll live. I love you guys. I do this all the time. So here we have all of our fresh ingredients that we've chopped up. I decided to slice the peppers, and I decided to slice the onions, and then I just like roughly chopped the garlic. And then here we have the salami. I'm gonna tax myself. Loving the vegan. So here we have it. They're roughly all cut about the same size because I want them to all brown evenly. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to head on over to the stove. We're going to bring this all together, and then we're going to get to the best part of the evening, which is when we all get to eat. So I'll see you guys on the stove. Almost forgot the food. Yeah, so woo. Alright, so I'm just going to turn on my stove, and I'm going to turn this on to about medium. Here we have la yuca that's boiling away. And I just want that to soften a little bit. I'm going to increase the flame on that just a bit. So I'm warning myself because it's about to get super, super, super hot in this kitchen. But that's all right. Y'all have seen me sweat my face out before during these live streams. And at this point, we are all family. So I'm just waiting for the stove to come up to temperature. And like you guys know, I like to like wave my hand over top. Just want to give that a few more minutes. Now, when it comes to making salami guisado, you should know that the salami itself is actually going to excrete its own oil. So you actually don't have to add too much oil to the pot. So you actually don't have to add too much oil to the pot because it's going to release its own oil. So I always say it's easier to add than it is to take away. So start by little by little. So I usually like to start with just like about a tablespoon. And that's usually the most that I need, especially with the pots and pans that I'm using today. Thank you so much, Jackie Hernandez, for the super chat. That really means the world. Now, the beauty with what I'm making today is that I'm actually using the caraway pots and pans, which you guys know I've been using them now for the last couple of live streams, and they are a non-toxic, non-stick brand, and I've been fairly impressed with them. So I'm gonna use them again today, and I fully anticipate not even having to use that much oil to actually cook on them. And they actually remind me a lot of my green pan pots and pans, which I use in almost every single video as well. And again, the great thing about the non-stick technology that both of those brands use is that it reduces the amount of oil that you actually have to cook with. So Belky says, how do you keep that stovetop so perfect? When I tell you this is hands down the #1 question that we have been getting lately, my #1 secret is that I actually clean it while it's hot. And if my stove cools down, then I warm it right back up just a little bit and I clean it while it's hot. But 100%, my husband and I are actually filming 2 videos because you guys voted. So we're filming 2 videos. One video is how I clean my kitchen, and the other video is how I clean my pots and pans, because the beauty about these live streams is that you guys have been able to see a lot more behind the scenes and being able to see me in the kitchen. But I did not anticipate the amount of people were like, girl, how do you clean your kitchen? And like, what's up with your pots and pans? Like, how do you keep them pristine? So I'm going to share all my secrets, all the tea. So definitely be on the lookout for those videos. So Beauty Killer D, I hope I said that right. I got a little bit too excited, but I hope I said that right. Says that you love eating salami straight out the package. I do too. Kenya Acevedo wants to know, how do you know when Yuka is good when you buy it? Oh, bane of my existence. It's pretty much half of it is luck. The other half is when you go. So you go and you look at the Yuka, and this is actually easier with one of the longer pieces. So you go and usually you can like just like kind of rip off the ends, and you can kind of see if it's growing mold or not, or if the vein is a little dark, then you know you don't want to. The problem with that is that a lot of the yuccas these days come like that, and sometimes the end pieces may not be so good, but the middle pieces are still like on the money. So that's one way, and the other way is just luck. I know, I hate, you know, it used to be back in the day that it was a lot easier to tell, but a lot of the times these things have had such a journey and such a long way to get to us that they kind of start to get away from us, even if just a little bit. So a lot of the times I end up discarding the end pieces. And one of the things that I personally love about going to DR and going to my in-laws is that they actually have a farm where they grow yucca, and I didn't know that fresh yucca straight from the ground is yellow. It's not even white. I was like mind blown, and it's a little sweeter too. That's why it's my favorite. All right. Oh, Anna says get frozen. You definitely can get them frozen. I still prefer them fresh, but frozens will still definitely do the trick.
Someone asked, is it okay to eat the salami just the way it is, or do you need to fry it?
So if you pay attention to the packaging, which I have one right here. Right here, friends, it tells you that the salami is cooked. So this is already cooked. It's already cured. It actually has a ton of preservatives in it. It's not the healthiest thing to eat in the world, but culture reminds me of home. Some things, you know, it's just a little bit of a treat. You can eat this straight out of the packaging, and then frying them up just gives them a little bit of color and a little bit of flavor, and it kind of activates some of the saltiness that's in there. But to answer your question, yes, you can eat it straight out the packaging, but you can also fry it just to develop some of that flavor and some of that color. All right, so we're gonna head on over to the stove. I can just tell by the heat in this kitchen that stove, we're ready to start cooking. So let's head on over. All right, so to this, we're going to add just a drop of oil. And now we're going to add the salami. Oh yeah. And pretty much all I want to do right now is I actually just want to let this brown up just a little bit evenly on all sides. Now, because I had stacked them to cut them into some pieces, I just want to break up the little stacks as well so that they all cook perfectly. So there you go. Yeah, you see, nice. And again, like I mentioned before, they're going to release their own juices and their own oil, so there's no need to add any extra. So while that is actually browning, I'm actually going to show you how I like to peel the yucca. Okay, so while that's cooking, that's going to take like a couple of minutes, and while that's kind of doing its thing, we had a question here earlier as to how do I peel the yucca. Now, I don't have a standalone video here on my channel, but you guys just gave me the beautiful idea to film it. But while we're here and while I have it, I'll actually show you guys how I do it. Now, disclaimer, right? This may not be the way that your mother peels the yucca, or your tia peels the yucca, or your grandmother, but this is the way that your homegirl here on YouTube peels it, so bear with me, all right? So first things first, just like with the plátanos, and I would say arguably one of the most important parts is that you want to have a knife that fits very comfortably in your hand. For me, it's my paring knife. I always suggest that you get a knife, again, that fits comfortably in your hand and that you're very comfortable maneuvering, and one that you're comfortable holding by the tip as well. That is key. I would never peel with this one because can get out of hand very quickly, if you know what I mean, all right? All right, so first things first, I actually like to cut the ends with the big knife, funny enough. So I just said all that. First, we're gonna take the big knife. We're gonna cut the ends off. We have Sancocho 718. Thank you so much for the super chat. We're gonna cut the other end piece. Now with this one, because this is a very hard, so I always like to run my knife, and there's two ways you can do it. You can keep running it and then pulling it away like I did. And for me, it's easier to peel this in smaller pieces. So then I pretty much cut it down the center. Then with my hand, I push it down. Or you can do it how some people do it. Other is like they like to run it around like this and then pull, like you kind of, and it pulls it apart. Now, perfect example, right? So this is the end piece to one of the yuccas. And this, all this like darkness here, right here, like these veins, we don't really want that, but we can actually cut that out. But if you look at the center, look how beautiful the center looks. So that's why these days buying the yuca is a little bit tricky, because the end piece, funny enough, this end piece looks pretty good. But sometimes if you just go by the end piece, you're going to think, oh no, no está bueno, está dañada la yuca. No, that's not true. You just have to cut this piece out, but the center is still going to be great. So now what I like to do next is I like to take the very comfortable knife that fits in my hand, and very similar to the plátano, I'm going to create a slit. And this one has a tougher cáscara, so it has a tougher skin. Now the other thing I want to show you, and I hope that this is, I hope you guys can see this. So you see here, this is the yuca, and then you see here, like it has like an outer layer. That's what we actually want to run our knife under. So I made the slit, and I'm trying to get under that. You see, it kind of comes off in one piece. It's very easy. So you just start to run your knife under it, and it starts to come up. You see? It comes up, and you just, again, you just run your knife under it, and she starts to come up. It does the work for you. You're just using the knife to run it under and then lift. So you run it under and then lift. Run under and then lift. And then the skin comes right off. You see? So this is the, you see how the skin, it has like the waxy exterior, and then it has like the interior, but it has like a thick. This you don't want to eat. This is no good. So now I'm going to go back, get the rest of it off. And the same way with a plátano, you want to then clean it off. Like you have like this piece here, no good, no good, no good. But this is when I now take my big knife and I just start to cut away those pieces. Now the other half might actually be in better condition. Yeah, this I would just, I'm not even going to bother saving that, but yeah, for the most part, that's pretty good. Now I'll cut the other piece in a second. I just want to check in on my salami, so I'll see you at the stove. All right, this smells amazing. As you can see, the color is developing rather nicely. Oh yeah. Super, super nice. And it smells amazing. So I'm just mixing this all together to make sure that the other parts and the other sides browns as well. Alright, so I'll be back to that in another moment. I want to see what you guys are talking about in the group chat. Alright. So we have Jazz that says, I started buying frozen ones after getting so many bad ones. And now, you know what? I feel you on that, because I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. And I'm like, throw the whole day away. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. Especially me. Sometimes I get very upset when my food doesn't come the way I want it to come. Yes, yuca is very starchy. We have aquatic. Amigos never had yuca. You are missing out. Yuca is one of my personal favorites. We have, sorry if I'm saying this wrong, Dacialu, or, oh man, I'm so sorry. I know I said that wrong. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to butcher it. But you said, I make it look so easy. Because it's not that hard. You just have to really know what it is that you're looking for, what to do, the tricks and the hacks. And honestly, like, that's one of my favorite parts about doing a lot of these videos, is that I get to share a lot of the stuff that I have learned over the years, and a lot of the stuff that like I have just figured out how to make easier just out of pure trial and error, and share them with you guys. And it's funny because I hadn't realized that I don't have a video on my channel on how to peel a yuca, because that's a really good video. So write that down, babe. We're filming that soon.
Is a yuca like a potato?
Is yuca like a potato? No. Yes and no. A yuca is like a yuca. Yuca is like a mix of a potato and a yam, I would say. It's very starchy. It's very tough. It's tougher than a potato. But then when you boil it long enough, it has the consistency and mushiness of a potato. You know what? That's a good one. I have to think about what it's most similar to. Give me a second. I just have to turn this. Oh, look at that. So, so good. And again, I just want this to brown evenly on all sides because this is a dish that seriously comes together in absolutely no time. All right, so I'm gonna peel the second half of the yuca just so that, you know, we're here, why not? We have MV who says, I'm the same, I toss the whole thing out. Yeah, listen. So just like before, I'm just taking my paring knife and I'm creating a slit. And now I'm going to run my knife because I want to get that lifted. And then I'm just like running it from the inside to get like on that inside layer. And it comes right up. Now, if this piece gets too big for you to like manage, just rip it off so that you can start again. So you always have visibility with knife. And this is why I always say, like, just like when you're peeling plátano, like, it is really important that you have a knife that feels comfortable in your hand. Because I know I've seen my grandmother, my aunts, they peel it with the big knife. And I said, oh no, not me. No ma'am. Yeah, and I'm just cutting some of that stuff off. Yeah, and look, this one is in way better condition. This one is in way better condition than the first piece. Now, if I were, and I'll cut this piece. Yeah, this one, yeah, this half no salió bien. Mira. This is why we always do this. So, if you guys watch my chulito con queso video, my arepita de yuca con queso video, the yuca has a vein that goes down the center. And usually, it has a vein that goes down the center. Now, usually, because nosotros estamos guayando, to make the arepitas, I take this vein out. Because we're boiling it today, I don't actually take it out because you can take that out after it's softened. It's not a big deal. But it really comes down to how much work you want to do. And it's right here. So that vein is right there. I don't know if you guys can kind of see it. I don't know if you guys can see the veining right there. You can actually see it right here. And this one, that's the vein that we always pick out whenever we are making the arepita de yuca because we're shredding it. So we don't want that to go into the arepita de yuca because that's like super, super starchy and super rough. All right, I'm going to set this off to the side. Let's head on over to the stove. We are now ready to start cooking up a storm. This salami smells amazing. So I'm going to see you over there and you're going to see just how quickly this thing comes together. Así, en un 2x3. So vámonos. All right, so the yuca oye, the salami, nice and brown, just like how I like it, nice and crispy. Now I will say that the salami campesino actually gets a little bit crispier than Indubeca. Now that I make both of them pretty often, I can definitely tell the difference. But like I said, Indubeca is my preferred salami whenever I'm making salami guisado. And campesino, I prefer it for locrio. All right, so to this now, we're going to add all of the fresh veggies that we chopped up. Oh yeah. And then to this, we're just going to add a tiny bit of salt. Now listen guys, salami, very salty. Very, very salty. So you don't really have to add too much salt or you don't really have to add too much sopita to it because el salami ya tiene bastante. But if you want to add a little bit extra, you can even add a little adobo if that's what you want to do. I find these days a little bit of salt is all we need. So I'm mixing that all together. Now I actually do not want the onions and the peppers to get too soft. So I just give it like a light saute. And now I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. So here we have some good old Dominican oregano. Gonna add that. We have sazón con achiote. Oh yeah. That's gonna give a nice color, nice flavor. Let's mix that all together. Así, mira eso. Sabroso. Y huele riquísimo, mi gente. Huele riquísimo. All right. Mixing that up. And now, I like to do, right here in the center, I like to do un hoyito, some room. It's like, make way. We have VIP coming. And to this, I now have some tomato paste. Now, I like my salami guisado super salty, so I like to add some tomato paste and tomato sauce. But first, I gotta work it in. Work it in. Oh, I said salty? Oh, no, mentira. I like it saucy. Don't be cheap with the sauce. I like it very saucy. So I just like to work that in there. Work it in there. Toss them in there, yeah. Now, with this dish and with a lot of my recipes, you have the option. You can use just tomato paste or you can use just tomato sauce. I like to use a little bit of each. If you're only using tomato paste, then like double, triple the amount. If you're only using tomato sauce, same thing, double, triple the amount. And with the tomato sauce, you're gonna have to actually let it stew for a little bit longer so that it thickens a little bit. Now, again, sauce is the name of the game. So to that, we're gonna add some tomato sauce. Get that in there. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, this is a dish that you make cuando tú no quieres cocinar. Put this together and nobody's gonna be upset with you. At least my husband's never upset with me when I'm like, babe, I don't feel like cooking, so I made salami guisado. He'd be like, yes, because it's one of his favorites. So I'm just gonna mix this all up. Oh yeah. And then again, I'm actually going to add a little bit more tomato paste, just because como que le falta un poco. So just add a little bit of that. And a lot of this stuff, you can also eyeball it to the consistency that you want. So right now the sauce is pretty thick, and that's fine because we're not done. We're now going to add a little bit of water. And that's gonna help break up the sauce a little bit. And this is, you know, it's up to you. How thick or how thin do you want it? I like it somewhere in between. Not too thin, not too thick. I want it to coat the yuca really nicely. Oh yeah. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Why not? Para dejar ese poco. So just for reference, I added about 3/4 of a cup of water. And I just want this to start bubbling up just a little bit. Now, I am going to taste it. I just want to make sure that we're good on salt. How we doing? That's pretty good. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of salt, and then I'm going to hit it right now with some fresh recao, which is cilantro, and some olives, because y'all know I'm team olives. Let's pretend like my husband doesn't like olives. We have a question?
Yeah. Is the Dominican oregano the same as very fine oregano in the U.S.?
No, let me tell you, who asked this question? We have AZ Dog Lover 7. Oh, hi, I'm a dog lover myself. No, so Dominican oregano is its own different beast. It's very unique. So it actually has a really nice citrus flavor, and it's one of the key ingredients to making Dominican cuisine. And the closest to Dominican oregano in flavor is actually Mexican oregano, which has that punch, like that strong citrus flavor. So Greek oregano, which is the typical oregano that you find here on the market, which has now been dubbed as like regular oregano, has a different herbaceous undertone. I do have Dominican oregano linked down below in Amazon. Full disclosure, it's a little bit more expensive than if you were to find it at your local Hispanic store. But if you don't live in an area where there's a lot of Caribbeans, not even Latinos, but just a lot of Caribbeans, then it's going to be harder to find. But if you're curious to try it out, because it is such a staple in so many of my recipes, I have it linked down below. All right, let's head on over to the stove. I'm gonna get to some of your questions at the end. You know, we gotta finish what we're doing over here. So here we go. All right, so I said that I wanted to add a little bit of salt to this. Just a little bit, because it doesn't need much. And we're just going to mix that all together. And then to this, I now wanna add the olives. And the olives are optional. You guys know I'm a huge olive person. I now want to add just a tiny bit of vinegar. Now it's funny because I actually shared this video on my IG Reels and I missed the part where I added the vinegar, and that was one of the #1 comments. People were like, "Se te olvidó vinagre." I was like, damn, little editing faux pas on my end. So mix that in. And then we have actually one of my grandmother's secret ingredient, which was the Tabasco sauce. Completely optional. I'm just sharing all my secrets. So I just added a few dashes of that. And this is something that's just unique to my household. Like my mom and I, we love it with a little bit of Tabasco at the end. And then I want to infuse it with some freshness. And this is something that's always key whenever you're making something. Feel free to add your fresh herbs at the very, very end if you want the strongest of flavor. So I'm just going to add that to it. I'm going to fold it in, and the steam is going to do all of the work for me. Now, I left them in bigger chunks because it means it's going to be easier to pick out later on. So I'm actually going to turn this off, and I'm going to let it sit for about, actually, I'm going to put it on low. I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes, and then while all of this is coming together, I'm going to be answering some of your questions, and we're going to be getting ready for the grand finale. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about in the group chat. We have Joey Grullon who says, in the BX here in the Bronx, we have Dominican oregano everywhere. Same here, but there are some, you'd be surprised, there are some people who are like out in Arizona or Texas or even California who can't get it. And so I've linked it down below just in case for those of you. But yes, like I said, like if you're in an area where there's a bunch of Dominicans and a bunch of Caribbean people, like Dominican oregano is everywhere, and you can get it in like a few different ways. I typically tend to use the ground version, but you can definitely use the whole leaf version. It's just like sometimes it's just a little bit of a pain to pick out the little like seeds. I mean, not the seeds, the little sticks. So we have Yescania who says, pastel en hoja de yuca is also better than plátano. Ooh, you know, for some, those might be fighting words, girl. Those might be fighting words. I'm a yuca girl, so you know, I'm always gonna be like, yeah, team yuca. Unless Aoyama enters the chat. Actually, no, I think I like yuca more than Aoyama, which is crazy because I love Aoyama.
Somebody asked, what does the vinegar do to the dish?
So, okay, so a couple of things. So traditionally in the Dominican Republic, tomato sauce is much sweeter. So they add vinegar as a way to balance out the sweetness in the sauce. Here in the States, it's actually quite the opposite. Our tomato sauce is already on the acidic side. So one of the things that you can do is omit the vinegar altogether or add it like I did. And if you don't like that little bit, if you don't like the sauce to be that acidic, you can always balance it out with a little bit of sugar. I always like to add it just out of like straight nostalgia and culture. But again, there's different ways that you can play with the acidity and balance it out. And a lot of the times it's, you know, if you want to balance out some acid, you add a little bit of sweetness and vice versa. So we have Mr. A who says, I'm so happy I found this channel. Your recipes always make me happy. I've never used any of these ingredients. I can't wait. Now listen, if you have any questions, I'm always around. You can follow me on Instagram, and I try to do my best to answer every question, but the other thing that you're going to find is that I repeat a lot of the same ingredients in a lot of my recipes because I try to limit the amount of waste, and also too because I don't want you to buy Dominican oregano and you're like, I don't know what else I'm going to use this for. And it's like, well, you know, lucky for you, I have like 50 other recipes that calls for Dominican oregano, so you can actually go through the bottle. What else we have? Patricia Baez says, I can relate so much. I'm Dominican, Salvi, and my husband is Argentinian, Italian. Wow, your household is essentially the UN. And I introduced my daughter to guava y queso blanco. Ooh, I can go for some little guava and cheese moment right now. Yes. Yes, yes. You told her about the charcuterie board? Yes, if you know, you know. Again, for me, like that's just like my childhood right there. I'm just cleaning up my station real quick because we are getting ready to eat. How you doing, babe? We got angles. We got angles. I like to make sure that like I'm setting everything right so that you guys can actually see it. We have, oh man, again, I don't want to say this wrong. Yadria, hola, hello. Ooh, so we have Jahaira Granda who says, please make a video on patita guisada. I haven't had that since I was a kid. So that is something that I 100% have to practice before I make it here on my channel. All right, guys. So dinner is officially ready. It's time to eat. I'm going to grab the yuca and we're going to fix ourselves a yummy, yummy, yummy plate. Let me just get everything together. Let me actually drain the yuca. As a matter of fact, I'll show you guys here on the stove because I don't think I've actually showed you guys the yuca yet. So, so I'm just, oh yeah, that yuca is done, honey. Done, done, done. So you know your yuca is pretty much done when you can like put a fork in it and it's nice and soft. Now there are some people who like it stiffer than others. I like mine super, super soft. I don't think I overcooked it. I actually think they're pretty perfect. But one of the things that you want to keep in mind is that once your yuca is done, you want to drain the water, which is exactly what I'm about to do right now. If I can find my oven mitts. Yeah, they're right here. So I'm just gonna take this away. I'm gonna drain it and then I'm gonna turn this off while we're here. And here we go. So just going to drain the yuca. Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. So I'm just gonna now take the yuca. I'm gonna set it back just so we can like serve ourselves. The heat from this thing is like giving me a facial. It's funny because my husband actually loves the yuca super, super, super soft. Whew. So hot, so hot, so hot. But here I have the yuca. They're definitely on the softer side. I got carried away, but it's still going to be delicious. Again, it's totally up to you if you want your yuca to be a little bit on the firmer side or a little bit on the softer side. We tend to like it a little bit on the softer side anyways, but again, my aunt is probably like, no, a little bit firm for me. All right, so I'm gonna now bring over the salami guisado, which I'm so excited about. Here we go. Ah, look at this, guys. Look at this. So, so, so good. So good. Let me just set this here. Ah, it's going to be so good. This is, so it's funny because this is actually considered a humble dish. And for me, I get why it's a humble dish, but it's just one of my favorites. So I know that this actually has like the history of being like a, whatchamacallit, a poor man's dish or a humble dish. And for me, it's just seriously, truly, truly a delight. So I'm just setting my yuca down. And I want to show you guys, so I didn't take the vein out because the vein comes out perfectly whenever you boil it. Now again, my yuca is a little bit on the softer side, but it's because I totally forgot it was on the stove. Here we go, taking out another vein. Woo, it's hot, hot, hot. All right, and now to that, give me a second, I just need a spoon. And now to this, where are my spoons? All right, and now to this, so excited, gonna add some salami. I like to, again, I'm very picky about my foods touching. I like everything to be like neatly compartmentalized. So I'm gonna add some over top and I'm gonna add some to the side. I know some of you guys can relate. Let me know if you guys are also like weird and funny like that. Oh my goodness, look at this. So, so, so good. I'm gonna add some olives in this. This is my plate. You guys know I need my olives in there. Oh yeah. And listen guys, this can feed a village. All right, I think that's good. Oh yeah, oh yeah. EBR says you came late and you missed the best part. No, listen, you came right on time. We are just about to eat. MV says the tia face. I mean, come on. Y'all know how it is. Love salami and mango. Salami and mango is actually amazing. So the way my husband prefers to eat it is salami guisado con plátano hervido. So just boiled green plantains. But I was like, babe, let's get some yuca action going on. All right, let's taste this. I'm super, super hungry. Let's see how we did. Look at this piece, babe. Give him this close-up right here. Look at my bite. Look, before. I love that. You get the brown, crispy salami over top the nice, soft yuca. We get some nice sauce action going on in there. All right, let's see how we did. I'm telling you, man, if your food doesn't make you dance, I don't want to know nothing about it. All right, food should excite you, whether it's like a poor man's dish like I have right here, because these days salami is not cheap. But regardless, unless it's one of the more humble dishes and one of the more elaborate dishes, I feel like every dish should definitely make you excited and make you want to share it with your family. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. We have Carmen Diaz that says missing the aguacate. Actually, we're not missing the aguacate. I'm looking at the aguacate right now, pero los aguacates se pasaron. They're bad. It got so hot in my house over the last couple of days that the aguacate like left. Here get your own plate, sir. We have the salami thief taxing me yet again. I told you guys that I get taxed unfairly in this household when it comes to salami, as you guys can see. We have Jahida who says, now you made me hungry. And we have TJ Diamond that says that your family loves the Dominican spaghetti. That makes me so happy to hear. Thank you so much for trying the recipe. And someone said, así mismo, buen provecho. Now, buen provecho to me or buen provecho to the salami thief? Which one? Because, oh boy, here he goes again. Y'all, you wait until this live stream is over, sir. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I always have a blast whenever we do these live streams, and as you guys know, we have been doing them all summer long. I have the full recipe linked down below. It's on my website. I have a dedicated video where I break it down into a little bit more detail. I hope you guys enjoyed my impromptu how to peel a yuca little tutorial. I'll definitely make that its own separate standalone video here on my YouTube. Now, for those of you who may be missing the live streams, just know that I do have a playlist here on my channel where, I have all of the live streams played so you guys can play it back at your leisure. And if you have any questions, always comment down below. Now, huge announcement. This week's live stream, typically it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we have a prior obligation on Thursday, so we're actually going to go live on Friday afternoon. We're going to be doing something very light, very refreshing, very just perfect for summer. Be on the lookout for that. I'm always like putting it up on the community tab because I'm hoping that you guys can see it, and I hope that's a way to kind of mitigate some of the issues that we've been having. I know some of you guys haven't been seeing it and haven't been getting the notifications, so I hope that's been working. Just gonna take a quick look at the group chat before we sign off today. We have, thank you so much. You're the best. You guys are the best. Honestly, you guys are the reason I'm here. Love your channel. Thank you. Hot to both. We have AZ Dog Lover. Keep doing what you do. It's so helpful. We love you. Thank you. This life was so fun. Thank you. I'm so happy. Ooh, somebody's making pollo frito con totones. Yes. I love, even though like pollo frito right now in my kitchen, like I hope it's air fryer, but regardless, you're eating well tonight. That's so great. Someone said have a great evening. You want a Dominican brunch? I always want a Dominican brunch. Listen to me. Bon appetit. Thank you guys so much. This is always a blast. Like always, don't go too far. There's a ton of yummy recipes here on my channel, and I will see you on Friday. And it's time to eat before this salami thief over here gets me for like what, a third or a fourth piece. And he about to go for it. I'll see you guys on Friday. Buen provecho. Oh yeah, the yuca, oh, best part.